Brian. So glad we could be here together tonight.
Oh, yeah. I look forward to Monday nights. I really do. Sunday was a great day yesterday. Weekend was fantastic. The only thing I don't like about Mondays is because I don't look at the emails on Sundays. I don't. That's me and the Lord's day, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I turn on that email Monday morning, it's like, oh boy.
Catch up time.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But I'm loving it because all the hard work of you and the whole team is moving this mission by leaps and bounds. I give all the credit to God and to my team because I'm just a lowly old medic trying to bring hope to my brothers and sisters. So I think it's just time we get into the update.
Sounds good. Let's see. I know we've got a lot going on. I'm looking forward to seeing everything come up to the screen. Here you go.
Here we are. First, you see the new layout. I'm trying to get this so it's bing, 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 bing. Our praise report. Remember, we do work with the blessings that we do receive. Last week was the first Wednesday of the month, and 27 veterans received fellowship support with a free meal.
That's awesome.
This brings our 2024 total year to date to 182 veterans served.
That's amazing.
Okay, but in full transparency, it cost Project Die Hard $296.45. Everybody goes, that was cheap for that many veterans. Yeah, it was, but it still was an outlay. And the donations received on that day was $36. Okay?
It's a real deal.
It's a real deal. No veteran will ever be charged for the services that we provide, Project Die Hard provides. Okay? They won't. When you become a monthly patron, any amount helps. This is where it goes to outreach programs like this and to continually growing our mission. No leadership receives a salary. The scripture says you cannot serve two masters. All right, we got a new slide called What You Should Know About. Because most people don't, and knowing on veteran issue needs to be talked about, right? We need to put this out. My thing that I wanted to bring up this week, because of some of the conversations we have. Most veteran nonprofits are what we call in the service field hand to mouth. They're small, they raise their funds, and it goes right out to their mission, which is great, right? But as I've always been saying, together everyone accomplishes more. Our facilities are open for ministries and nonprofits to utilize to help us bring hope to veterans at no cost. Our resource partners are provided offices at no cost. This brings the best programs to our mission, to who we serve, and allows both to save resources and grow, so more can be done. This is how we fit together. This is teamwork in action. Upcoming events. This is the biggie. So you can plan to come and see the mission in action. When you come, more is done, and our mission grows, okay? July 26, 2024, 600 Halfway Road, Marion, Illinois, 0930 hours. We are meeting with Illinois Congressman Mike Bost, Illinois Representative Dale Fowler, and Illinois Representative Paul Jacobs. We need as many people as possible to come and attend this event to make our mission heard. Following that meeting, we will be going from Marion down to the FOB, which is 25 minutes, and be doing an open house so that people can see what will be there when resources are met. Okay? That's the next big thing coming up. That's what we're all prepping for. You can see in the comments on the video we just posted up the event link. Please share it out. Tell everybody about it. The mission needs you. My team is doing great things, but things are moving and we need more people, more people, more people. Remember, God will never leave the mission. The suffering of veterans will never be used to grow this mission. And there's no drugs or alcohol allowed. Do you believe that veterans deserve more? Can you work within those guidelines? Acts 6:2 through 3. Got it. The leadership team, we got our role. We're looking for our 7 that we can say, go do great things. The needs are many. How can you fit into the mission? That's between you and God. We only take the best for whom we serve. And all paid positions start as volunteers. So the question is, what skills do you have? And what time will you give? What responsibility will you take on to help bring hope to veterans? Pretty simple. To join the team, bring hope, right? As we like to say, our mission is a beacon of light for veterans. Hey, lighting beacons nationwide. We have the land, God gave the plan. Volunteer at projectdiehard.org is where you start. Send an email. We send you all the information. If we hear back from you, then we know, hey, let's move forward and discuss. To become a community support member, ambassador at projectdiehard.org. These are ways the community business leaders can join our mission. Now you're seeing this podcast, whether it's live or recorded. Do you have a veteran issue that you want to bring to light? Or a program, a product, or a message of hope for veterans? We invite you to come. Join us. Monday at projectdiehard.org. That's how you start that. Other ways you can help, right? Our social media. Find, like, follow, subscribe. It costs nothing to do that, and it grows the mission. Support our community support members. These businesses are doing what they can. The more support they get, the more they can do. Go to our website for more information. Shop our merch. It all goes to the mission. And that is that for the week update.
So I say there's a lot going on. There's some major pieces coming up real quick here. So that July 26th date, if you did not write it down yet, do that now, because July 26th, that is going to be that meeting time. And it just so happens July 26th is the anniversary date of when the Americans with Disabilities Act was signed into law back in 1990. So I think there's something kind of special about that happens to be that anniversary date.
We didn't pick the date or time. They did. So that's a him up there. He did that.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
As that story goes, if it wasn't for the veterans and what they did at that time to get that bill passed, it wouldn't have passed. Because think back to, so it was signed into law in 1990. Part of what spurred this forward as it did get signed into law was the veteran community.
Yeah.
When you are looking at our wounded and injured vets that are trying to get into our buildings, our government buildings, and can't, they're literally crawling up steps because there's no access point where there's a ramp or another way for them to enter. Veterans had a big piece of why our country changed with that bill being passed. And it's time for us to keep things moving forward here.
Oh, and then that bill expanded to serve others.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm just like this. Okay. Did you know that when you go to your microwave to make popcorn, you know where that all started? Radar, World War II.
Oh, really? See, I did not know that.
Department of Defense contract. That Raytheon tube that makes, right? That's radar. Mm-hmm. All that was done from the military.
There are so many pieces like that, nuggets out there that, I should do some legwork and find some more nuggets for us to share in future episodes here, because there is so much that has come through our military that we don't even know that was the source. So,
well, okay, modern EMS came about from Vietnam era medics from the military. The protocols, the development of, instead of just the ambulance running up and throwing you in the back and running you to the hospital, of care right then and there. Triage came from us, the medics. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of nuggets people don't understand.
Not just has it been that the military is keeping our freedoms the way they are, they have impacted our lives in so many practical ways that we don't even recognize. People don't understand that. Like you're saying with a microwave. Oh my gosh. How many of us have a microwave in our house? Pretty much everyone. Pretty much. We all use one at some point in time, right?
Yeah, the little convenient mart, again. Veterans make up a very small amount of the population, but we contribute so much more. Our life experience, our training, or whatever, it's hard to explain, but this is why this mission is so important. Because if we can save one veteran's life, would that be the veteran that can make the next big breakthrough?
it's one of those things when you actually take a moment and step back and remember why this mission exists. I mean, sometimes I think about, okay, Fob Rush is here. We want to finish remodeling, and we're doing all these good things. We got all these partnering programs going on. There's a lot of good things happening, but we have to remember why this even exists.
Well, people saw on the post. Brad from Woodlawn Church, one of our ministry partners, came to the breakfast. And we had a veteran come, first time there, ever. We've been doing this for going on 3 years. First time there ever, because he saw our flyer over in the VA clinic. I guarantee he's going to be back next month, because he showed up in the door, and Pastor Brad actually looked at me. He goes, "Now I know why you do this." Because that veteran was very apprehensive. By the end of his breakfast, he was talking to 3 other veterans, and they exchanged numbers. And
providing hope, providing connection, providing what he needed that day. Awesome.
And again, the bean counters hate me because, look, if one veteran shows up, to me, it's a mission success. To them, not so much. They're learning, though. They're learning. But speaking of nuggets and things, you sent me a thing a couple weeks ago, and I said I wanted to bring that up. I have you to do that.
Perfect. Thank you. Because it was something that originated from, to me, it's kind of a random piece. I have lots of different news things that I subscribe to. They hit my inbox. Most of the time, I don't even open them. I just, on to the next thing. I don't have time. But for some reason, I don't know why, because it was not part of the cover message on there. It was something where I opened that one, and here is this piece about veterans, about our military. And I'm not going to go too much into it ahead here. I think I'm going to let the video speak for itself. I know you've already reached out. We're trying to see if the person who put this together is able to come on here in the future. It is amazing to me when I saw this video. It's not very long, but it made a lot of sense to me and scared me because of what I saw. So I am going to go ahead and bring that in and let you guys see for yourself. Just 1 second here as I get to the screen here for you. Here we go. All right. I am not hearing any sound. Are you hearing sound?
No sound.
Why did we not get sound on here?
Take that off your feed, reload it, and check the settings about the sound. It's all right, folks.
Give me 1 second here. Rookie mistake, so sorry.
Look.
We all do the best we can, right? Hey. And that is what I'm trying to do to share what we do.
Hey, look, this morning, one of the meetings I had to attend, I clicked the link, and I'm thinking I'm going to go into a Zoom meeting. No, I'm going into the Team meeting. Microsoft Teams or Google Teams or something like that. I'm on this camera, and I'm talking to these folks, and I'm like, I don't know where any of the controls are for this.
Okay, here we go.
When people in the military fire heavy weapons, an invisible blast wave goes through their brain. That damage can pile up and lead to some pretty profound problems. The injury troops experience is a lot like what football players experience in a way. The difference with the military is that it's not a hit to the head, it's a shock wave. Basically, an explosion causes a supersonic wave that hits the brain. And just like a wave going through the ocean, it ripples through the brain tissue and can cause damage. And that can add up and cause some pretty serious problems. There's this old party trick where you can take a full beer bottle and smack the top and blow out the bottom of the glass. Scientists who study the physics of blast waves think something similar is happening in the brain. We're going to hit the top of a beer bottle with a mallet, and that should send a shock wave down through the liquid inside. The shock wave is going to go down through the liquid, and when it bounces off the glass on the bottom, it creates a very brief vacuum. In that vacuum, water vapor turns to bubbles. And when those bubbles expand suddenly and then implode, boom, the glass breaks. This is what a growing number of scientists think happens when a blast wave hits the brain. Just like a beer, the brain is largely water. And just like a beer, the brain is surrounded by a hard case. In this case, it's not a bottle, it's the skull. Also, just like the beer, the damage in the brain seems to happen not where the hit actually happens, but on the other side where the wave bounces back. If that theory is correct, then the damage would be found anywhere there's a change in the stiffness or density of the tissue that would reflect the shock wave. And in fact, that is exactly what scientists have found in autopsies of brains that were repeatedly exposed to blasts. I've been writing about the military for more than 15 years, and honestly, this was news to me. People may not even realize that they are being injured, and the symptoms, which include things like sleeplessness, anxiety, paranoia, they can look a lot like PTSD. This is an issue that impacts almost everybody in the military. People firing large artillery cannons, mortars, career Navy SEALs. But the amazing thing is, to a large extent, the military doesn't even recognize that it's happening.
So, now I can't hear you.
There we go. My tabs got discombobulated there when I turned that off. So sorry. I'm back. So, isn't that amazing?
That is. I know of traumatic brain injuries, right? But that is more of like a physical jolt, right? But I never thought of that concussion wave thing. That would explain a lot.
As when I first heard this, that's where I felt like a light bulb turned on. Like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. Because, okay, so I don't have a military background. How many of our military are in a place where they are at some point exposed to a lot of impact type injury potential, like what you just saw?
Concussions.
Yes.
Concussions. There's that. It's a sound wave. It's a concussion. It's not an impact. Let's see. Tankers. Combat engineers, they play with explosives. They set off breaching charges all the time. Infantry are standing right next to the breaching charge when it goes off to get into the bad guys. That's there's, again, if anybody knows of this individual, we've sent emails, reach out to him. We want to talk to him. Yeah, I want to talk to the reporter, but maybe I want to talk to the scientist that reached out to him. That's the guy I want to talk to. Guy or girl. That's who I want to talk to. That's who I want on this show to explain that. Because that would explain a lot to my brothers and sisters on why they're different.
There's something actually happening there. Like he had said, it looks like PTSD. It may not be. I mean, there's in a way it is, right? It's what do you want to call it? You put a name on it. It doesn't make it one thing or another. It's still, there's this thing, whatever that thing is that is making this difference. If we understand what's causing it, maybe we can understand a way to help it. I don't know that there's a way to fix that.
I don't know either, but now that we're aware of the problem, I'm digging a little bit on my end too. I've sent that out to a couple of my old medics and said, hey, you ever thought of this? And it's getting a little bit of buzz in the medic community of, hey, that might explain an awful lot.
I remember so I was an EMT for 10 years as a civilian. And I do remember one thing that stood out to me in one of the trainings we had as far as what they call the third impact. Like if there's a vehicle accident, so the car hits something and then you physically are, whether you're hitting the inside of the vehicle or the seatbelt, whatever it is, that's your second impact. But that third one is your brain in there just had that hard of a stop where it's going to impact the inside of your skull. Kind of like similar, different, but similar-ish concept to what this was talking about, where there's an internal injury going on that you can't just sit back and see. It's not like that seatbelt, I'm going to see a bruise eventually from what that was, but I'm not going to see that brain got bruised inside.
Well, okay. IED went off at a work site, threw my son against a big, heavy machine, knocked him out cold. There you go.
Yep.
Just like a car wreck.
Exactly.
Okay. There's mechanism of injury is just so, it's so out there. But that little clip opened my eyes to something that it may not be all mental.
Yes. There's a physical thing happening.
There's a physical thing happening in these noggins in veterans. So it's not that veteran is weak. It's not that veteran is, no. There could now be a reason, a physical reason for not sleeping, depression, anxiety. It's called a brain injury.
Yeah. And sometimes it, as much as it's hard to know how to handle that, understanding though that there's a reason for what you're experiencing, there's something, if you can wrap your mind around what is actually happening and have a way to make sense of it, that makes a big difference. You're not just sitting there floundering like, I don't get what, everybody thinks I'm nuts. I'm sitting here dealing with all this stuff and nobody can help me. No, nobody understands what I'm going through here. Well, having a way to understand what's happening brings a whole different level of comfort and understanding and treatment.
Instead of going, my mind is going crazy, you can ground yourself going, okay, I know I got this injury. I know it causes this. I know this, and this aggravates this, and this. So I got to get that fixed. And what better place than our facilities?
Because realistically, how many doctors out there have seen this or have had this piece brought in front of them? I mean, our doctors are awesome. They're smart. They know a lot of stuff. But this might make a difference to even for the doctors that are treating our veterans. if they understood that maybe this is a piece of the puzzle, are they going to treat our guys different?
Well, again, modern technology, modern imagery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've had my head scanned. I'm going to have to go back and look at my films to see if there's any of that, what he was talking about there. I'm going to have to look. But now, when I go see my doc again, I'm going to show him that clip and say, hey, I think it's time that we do a better imaging of my head, and let's take a really good look to see if there's any signs of that damage.
I hope that this is a piece that can make a difference. Again, I don't know at this point. They showed us the problem. They didn't necessarily show us a solution, but they gave us an explanation, which is a step in the right direction.
We know what the problem's been around since forever. We got an explanation. Why do veterans suffer from PTSD? Well, of course, it's what we've seen and what we've had to see. But now there's another physical contributing factor that could play a part in that.
So going back to that whole concept of statistics and veteran suicide, you want to remind everybody what those stats look like?
Well, the last census, veterans make up max 6% of the American population, but we make up over 50, it's 52% of every suicide in the nation.
And those numbers don't make sense. I mean, I get it, but when you just step back and look at just that piece, that's there. From a scientific point of view, there's something to be found here.
How can that little bit of that population make up that big of a number?
Bingo.
Yeah, good question. I really want to know. Yeah, if there's any scientists out there, please help me explain that one too.
So whether I can only assume a piece of it falls under what that video was addressing.
I'm sure, again, how many times have we sat in meetings and I've told you about somebody that asked the question, why do you think veterans kill themselves? If I knew that answer, we wouldn't have this problem.
Exactly.
Hey guys, I'm just a lowly old medic, saved by the grace of God and put on a mission. I know there's smarter people out there than me. Can somebody answer that question? Why do veterans make up over 50% of every suicide in America when we're one of the smallest demographics in America?
And that's why that's what Project Die Hard is here for, to be the resource, to be there. There's so many things happening right now. Do you want to rattle off a few of our resource partners here? What ways do we have at our fingertips now, based on what the team has all put together and what you've put together? What I know it's a team effort. But
we got the Disability Channel. We have the United States Veteran Reserve Corps 1st Illinois Battalion. We have Southern Illinois University and myriad of other contacts. The question was resource partners. Those are our official 3 resource partners. Again, if you have a nonprofit, that you have a program that benefits veterans, reach out to us. Become a resource partner. Okay? I'm not tooting my horn or diehard's horn, but when you go through our vetting process, when we tell people this is a resource, they know they're going to get help. Isn't that so? That's a major reason why we develop those programs, for the vetting process.
Yeah. And we have met, if you go back and look on YouTube and look at all of these shows that we've had over the last, actually, how long have we been doing this now? It's been a while.
I don't know.
I've lost track. So think of all the guests that have come through here, all the people that have stepped forward and say, hey, I'm here. What can I do? Here's what I know. What can I do to help the mission grow?
But yeah, again, but true even to that, how many have we, even after the first meeting, went, no, I don't think so? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because I know you and Kurt have had meetings I wasn't involved in that I know I probably never even heard of the people, because you were like, oh no, this isn't going to work. If we tell Brian this person's, oh, he'll have our hide.
And you know what? The other half just walked in. I think I'm going to go ahead and bring Kurt on in here to join the conversation.
No, there he is.
How you doing?
Well, I'm listening to how fortunate I am. I passed the grade, I passed the screening, and I'm here. So lucky me.
If you want to call it luck.
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, so Kurt has his corner of the world here for the last decade has been a lot with Americans with Disabilities. And we were talking a bit about how this extra important meeting that's coming up is taking place on the anniversary of the ADA being signed into law. So I actually want to back up for a moment and I want to ask the question. I know there are three politicians that are planning to be in that meeting. How many of them have at this point have been at Fob Rush? One of the group. Okay. And you're saying after the meeting, hopefully all of them will be going there to actually see this themselves, hopefully.
I'll invite.
Or at least somebody from their team, hopefully.
I'll invite.
Yep. Because I think, honestly, seeing and experiencing what this is will make a difference. Because I know it does for me. I'm a visual person. So literally walking through the door and being able to see what's there now, what is envisioned for the future, what are the grounds like there, what is this thing that we're asking for their support. I really hope they will step up, take that time, and go take a tour.
Again, I'll invite. But this is the importance of getting people in that parking lot on that morning, right, to be the voice. In fact, we were talking earlier today, so here's the call out, folks. We need one person who knows how to handle all this video live streaming stuff to reach out to us and say, I will be in Marion, Illinois on that day in that parking lot, and I will handle the live feed.
That's a real deal. We need somebody. Who's nearby there?
Yeah, look, where do I gotta be?
You do not need to have your phone in your hand doing the live stream. You need to be focused and talking to those that are in that meeting. Priorities.
That's my job.
Yep.
You know, I got to explain this dollar's going here, this dollar's going here, this dollar's going here. But that's part of the gig.
So, Kurt, I'm going to bring you on in here too. You know the big meeting that's coming up and the value of that. You've got background with being on a government committee here in the state of Wisconsin. You, I think, recognize very well the importance of having that government backing and all that. What thoughts do you have as you're looking at this meeting coming up in just a couple of weeks? Ooh, I wonder if the sound is coming through.
There you
go.
All right, can you repeat that? Because if you were talking to me, I didn't hear it.
All good. Yeah. What my question was is with that background that you've had, you've actually served on a committee for the state of Wisconsin that has to do with actually share. Maybe I don't know that many people know about that. Can you tell us a little bit about what that committee was and what your function was there?
So the state committee for Governor Walker.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Wisconsin Council on Physical Disabilities. I learned about that because back in 2015, I was involved in celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And through that committee work, they let us know that there were openings, vacancies on the council. And so I applied to be on the council and got appointed and worked with them, you know, through a set of meetings, and rapidly found myself to be the vice chair of that committee. And, you know, so that was involved with legislators and obviously working with the governor's office and, you know, kind of, you know, collecting recommendations in terms of what was being done with administrative rule and, you know, everything regarding Wisconsinites with physical disabilities in terms of awareness and prevention initiatives and stuff like that, in terms of looking at the roads and people who maybe end up with a physical disability through a car collision or any form of an accident like that. And, you know, on and on, just long-term care issues, things with what's going on with, you know, Medicare programs and the whole litany of it, soup to nuts, anything that has to do with Wisconsinite with physical disability. It was something we could discuss on the council and, you know, consider the role of lawmakers and, you know, the gubernatorial role. So yeah, that was quite an experience.
So with this meeting that's coming up, and we have some legislators that are going to be in attendance, that's pretty dang important, right? To be able to have extra people there, and I say extra, like if I lived closer, I would be there, right? People that live in anywhere in that vicinity. Actually, can you remind us what the address is where this meeting is going to be taking place? It was 600
Halfway Road, Marion, Illinois.
600 Halfway Road, Marion, Illinois. I'm going to put that right in the chat.
That's the address, right? Again, it's on our social media feeds. But I guess, Kurt, what she's trying to pull out of you is how important is it to get the community to be in that parking lot that day?
Yeah, it's, you know, it's government works, you know, with our, you know, senators and with other representatives and in agency work that, you know, if you're not getting much response, it's a difficult conversation, with these offices, to move. But, if you have a pack of people out there, they kind of know something's stirring, so showing of people and their voters, especially if you can show that it's one of their voters, and, in terms of people, their constituents, so to speak, so yeah, that's very important. And when you talk to them and, you're trying to get something to happen, I mean, they'll tell you directly, it's like, hey, my phone hasn't been ringing. I haven't had any letters. I'm going to these events and nobody's saying anything about this, that, or the other thing. So if they're at an event here and people are saying different things directly to them, and in the visit, they get to learn that, that person is one of their constituents, that speaks loudly. They have to pay attention to that.
Yeah. Part of the brief I'm doing is full-time jobs, part-time jobs, community support, where we're going to get food for the facility. We're making a big economic impact in Southern Illinois. So I think I'm showing our worth to them.
So, go ahead.
I was just going to say the other part of what's difficult for people in these government offices is to, draw participation in their work from, say the corporate sector, business sector, and, to have, other public organizations, they call it collective impact and such like that, churches or whatever that, when we're talking about a suicide issue and stuff like that, they lower that because that is akin to stretching the tax dollar. So when you can get stakeholders around and you're showing that government role, but it's positioned as an investment, that this is going, whatever the dollars are from government, it's going to spur participation from all these other players, and that's very attractive. So having a well-rounded representation of people from these different lanes is very influential, to a senator.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you want me to say? Yeah, I know it is. Folks, we need you. We need you. I guarantee if they live closer, they would be there. I guarantee it. But it's only, 6 hours?
So, yeah, somewhere in there. So if people are able to be there, then the address is listed here. So 600 Halfway Road in Marion, Illinois. And after that meeting is done, you're headed to Fob Rush. How close is that to this location?
25 minutes.
So it'd be super easy to go and get a chance to see for yourself. What does this look like? What are we doing? What's happening there?
Again, that's from day one. Anybody that wants to visit, reach out. When we get the resources, it'll be open 24 hours a day. So, again, we put in there our event right there. You can click on that and let us know you're coming. Okay. It's an open house. What do open houses have? Chips and cookies, but I'm not spending all diehard's money and I don't know how much to get.
Let us know you're coming, and please hear this invitation. Come. You're encouraged to be there.
Yeah. This is what we're going to be talking about next Monday too, folks. This is the 26th event. I'm just giving you a heads up. This is how important this is.
So looking to the future here with this event, I want to just back up for 1 second. We just finished a Fill the Can event.
Yes, we did. And I got 4 cans still out that haven't been returned yet, but they got until the 9th.
Excellent. Which is tomorrow.
I know. But then we got to count them all and tally them all. And then the accountant's got to look at the Mighty Cause because other people have these online things going. But
So we got to take a moment and let the bean counters count the beans and get things in the
winner.
Figure out who is getting that traveling trophy for. Oh, I think we just lost our feed there. But to actually have that traveling trophy going out, and there we go. He's back. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, the traveling trophy. That's the key. Yeah. Okay, it looks like we're having technical issues because I see Sue moving backstage, but she's frozen on stage.
Oh my goodness. Well, it looked like I'm fine on my screen, which is opposite of before the show started. It's been a weird technical night tonight, but it's all good. We're here. We're doing what we can. That's all we can do, right? As a team, always. Oh my gosh. How many times have I heard it? Teamwork makes the dream work. It takes a team to do all the things that are happening. One person can't do it. 2 people can't do it. 3 people can't do it. There's too many things coming. There's too much that is too important to just sit back and let somebody else take care of it. What can you do to step up in whatever role it might be? Volunteer with us. It's a fun little going on here. And I want to say it's a fun, big group because that is where we're going. That is where we are growing. And we need you.
It already is a big group. Okay. Look, we got our teammates all over the United States. Actually, internationally. We got the Disability Channel, right?
This is true.
Okay, the team is there. We need some people to dedicate some more time to our team. Again, the Book of Acts. We're looking for that 7. We're looking for that 7 that will take on a role and run with it. Because it's too important. It's important.
We're talking about lives.
Yeah, we're talking about lives. And the team in place, we all do what we can. Okay? But to concentrate on one thing, we have to give up on another thing. Okay? That's important to know. That's why we need your help. It's not that anybody's better than anybody else in this organization. I'm not. I take out trash just like everybody else. We do big events at properties. I'm wearing a volunteer shirt. Bean counters hate that, but that's me. There's no frills or bells about me. But we need more people like Kurt, like Sue, like Christy, like Tammy, like Doug, to take on that role. What are you going to bring to this mission?
Yeah, another thing that would be very helpful is if we could drum up an enormous response from veterans and even other veteran service organizations, because in the bureaucratic side of things, having that demand side, like having people say that Project Die Hard is a remarkable solution and response to veteran suicide, and getting those reviews of what we're doing here by people in these veteran spaces, veterans and veteran service providers. That is a big help to what we're doing here at Project Die Hard. So those are good referrals to send to us ambassadors as well.
Yeah, that's, again, resource partners, ministry partners. That's just how this is how it works.
And even the simple things of following us on Facebook, subscribing on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, got that little search box on top, type in Project Die Hard. You guys know our logo, right? You'll see the logo on the channel. Subscribe. You'll get all the latest that way. You'll be able to stay up to speed with what's going on. And actually, if you want to help with what we're doing right here on Monday nights, that'd be amazing. Join us. That'd be a lot of fun to have some new joining us, or you know what? You don't even necessarily have to be on screen. You could be behind the scenes and make a big difference here too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look, there is no job too small that can save a life. There isn't, folks. I'm a medic. We're service and support. For the warfighter, the guy kicking in the door, right? It takes, on average, 14 of us of service and support so that warfighter can go kick in that door and chase the bad guy.
Wow.
That's medics, water, food, ammo, all that to support that one warfighter to going through the door. So don't think, oh, I just know how to do this. That could be the linchpin to the whole mission. But you'll never know until you email volunteer at projectdiehard.org. Tell us, I know how to do this real good. Can it help?
Perfect. Well, I want to just go real quickly around here. Last thoughts. It is Monday, July 8th, 2024. It's a great time here with Project Die Hard. So just last thoughts. Brian, I'll give it to you first.
Brothers and sisters, don't give up. Don't quit. Because we are on the cusp of doing great things. We've already done great things. 27 veterans got a free meal this past week. So I'm happy. But don't give up, because we're still on the. We will help with what we can. That's all I can say.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Kurt, last words for you.
Yeah, I'm experiencing that today. This is the third involvement that I've had today where we're talking about, the small things are so huge, and, just taking little strides, setting small little goals, just that next thing. In the past few days, I even watched a movie about survival and, stuff like that. And it was just all these little small things that, created that perseverance. So it's just, one thing at a time, and every little bit helps. So any little help that anybody out there can provide, adds up and spurs that next thing. And for everybody out there that is in a struggle or in these dark places, I guess that's, kind of my thought and offering, to that situation is just cling on to, that one possibility, memories, and, set things that you can potentially look forward to, like with Brian here, and, he was looking forward to joining the motorcycle event, and that became that next thing. So all the best to your next thing. Back to you, Sue.
Awesome. And ironically, that's been in the same flavor of some of the some videos that I've been consuming recently too, is next step. What's the next piece? What's that next actionable item? Don't eat the whole elephant in one time here. What's your next step? What can I do? I'm here right now. I am doing this. I'm trying my best, that word out, and grow Project Die Hard. What can you do to help with that? Let us know. Susan at projectdiehard.org. You go ahead and email Susan at projectdiehard.org, Kurt at projectdiehard.org. If you're ready to volunteer at projectdiehard.org. We are going in all sorts of great places right now, and always have been, but there's a lot brewing right now. So thank you to all of you who are supporting us, who are providing anything in any direction. We appreciate you more than you know. Until next time, we will be back here as always on Monday night. So we will see you back here next Monday. Project Die Hard Mission Monday update at 6:30 p.m. Central. Till then, we thank you.